Life's pretty good right now. Focus for this week is token swaps, HR, testing the dApps and testing regen farms. And my intentions for the call is to facilitate an efficient governance call. And I'll pass it to Marco.
Thank you, Mitch. Hi, everybody. I'm feeling a little bit tired. My focus for this week is the survey for the user research and Giveth docs, design at Giveth, finish that up. And then for this call intentions, I think need more clarity on the HR forum post. I just briefly read it. And that's basically it. Pass it over to Monique.
Hello guys, good morning, good evening. Happy to see you again. Happy week. I feel much more better. That was COVID, Omicron variant, and that was tough one. I totally lost my voice, but I'm here. Super energy with super good vibes, and my intention for this call is just to sync with you and see what's open the forum. And my plan for this week is just to have a version on Tuesday or Wednesday and testing. That's all. I don't have any distractions. Pass it on to Rochelle.
Hi everyone, happy Mondays. So I'm feeling great. My focus for this week is to update some spreadsheets and reach out to some reimbursements for the the database at the Mexico, and some spreadsheets, working on some spreadsheets. And my intentions for this call is to sync up with you and with the governance. And I'll pass it to Mo.
Hey everyone, just to be clear, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm feeling good. This week I'm working on the design system and updating the design system and a little bit of its structure, and also fixing some issues that we still have on the Giveth, and also intention for the call, sync up with everyone, and no discussion. I pass it to Ashley.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I'm feeling really good today. My focus for this week for governance, just making sure that the give back stuff is ready to go. Send out the email, and then I think that's the last step for this round. My intentions for the call, I don't really have anything to add. I just want to stay in the loop. I know there's been a lot of forum posts and votes and stuff going up to the DAO, so just keep on top of that. And that's it for me. Let's see, who hasn't gone? How about Griff?
Yeah, thanks. I'm feeling great. We just got to this place yesterday, so I'm still trying to get settled in, and hopefully by today. But I'm so excited to have like a month of not moving and being able to focus on things. So this week I'm gonna figure out what to focus. Honestly, I'm not sure where I want to put my focus. I'm definitely gonna be looking at hiring and like getting the different people who've offered to take on flags and be DAO proposers to start taking those flags. That's probably my number one focus, but there's so much to vote on and there's so much to do. So I'm excited to see what else I should be focusing on after this call. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
I'm feeling cold. My feet are cold. And My focus for the week is regen farms. Want to check over just like how things are doing, and I think that like probably going to be ready to go with that soon. So I was thinking of focusing on writing a blog post about the Givestream and regen farms, so they have like a good announcement thing. And other than that, just like trying to find issues for comms contributors and manage all the things. And yeah. I don't know. It's Monday morning, so I'm not even sure what all the things I have to do yet are. But that's where I am, sort of. I'll pass it to. I don't have any specific intentions for the call. I'll pass it to Amin.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for being late. My intention for this call is Unisys version 3. Maybe we want to close it, yes. And from various ideas about how to deal with this middle finger guy, was one of them was to be in a battle with him and try to not allowing him to utilize such bike in the smart bike, or then I can say that it's bike. He's utilizing the Uniswap version 3 contract, staking contract to get the reward. How we can deal with him? Maybe we can, because we will close the Unisys version 3 in near future. He will sell.
I mean, just to check in. Just how are you feeling?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
You're good. Okay, good.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I got it noted down here. We'll talk about the Uniswap v3 just after the check-ins. Do you want to pass it?
Yes, I pass it to Mato.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy week. Really excited about the release that we'll make this maybe tomorrow, I think. Working hard on that. Not distracted. My intention for this call is just to keep in sync. And that discussion about the UniV3 farm is really interesting. Nothing much to add. Not sure who's missing. Kai, have you gone?
No, hey guys, nice to be here. My intention is just to get updated. I'm only distracted by discovering the meeting is on now. I saw this email about that it's gonna be moved, so I was confused, but it's all good now. And I want to get updated badly. I don't know who still has to go. Giantkin, did you go? Yeah.
I have not. How am I feeling? I'm pulled in various directions this morning. Mornings on Monday are very crazy for me. So I got a lot of distractions. Obviously work, my physical job, and an Air Force buddy. I did post in one of the rooms about the whole thing, and he actually is driving out, and he's here now, and we got to fix his house type of thing. And that'll be any minute here. Intentions were just to make sure I get some kind of connection to go on the next step for maybe the proposal for moderation or idea. Anyway, that's it. Who pass it to? I really don't know who's next.
We can pass it to Nicola.
Nicola, yeah.
Hi, are you gonna be the image? Hi everyone. I'm feeling awesome and inspired. I am going to focus on verifying and practicing listing, unlisting, and all the awesome new tasks that I get to practice. Hi, everyone. I'm not really distracted. My intentions for this call are just to get up to speed with what you talk about, guys, and lay here, listen, and really give myself another good portion of education. And I'm giving it back to you, Mitch.
Cool. I'll sling it to Jahan.
Hi everyone. I'm feeling sick. I have got minor flu and a headache, so yeah, that's a distraction. The focus for this call is to get updated, stay in the loop, and my intentions for this week is to catch up on the work and catch up on the documentation as well. So yeah, and I'm not sure who's remaining.
I think Carlos.
Thanks, Mitch. Well, I'm feeling, I guess, a bit sad because my grandmother passed this weekend. So, yeah. Aside from that, my focus is to get as much deployed as possible this week for the new version. And yeah, that's it.
Sorry to hear that, Carlos. I think we've hit everybody, so let's move in. I posted the agenda in the governance channel last night. I don't see anybody has added in any priority agenda items. I was hoping Willie would be here so we could figure out like what the next steps are for the angel vaults. He's not here. I don't know if anyone feels like chiming in on that.
So
Okay.
Grace is working on a forum post explaining some of the details about OneGive and the Angel Vault, and she sent me a draft of it over the weekend. So I'm going to review it today and just provide feedback before she puts it up there, and then so there'll be a forum post to discuss it.
Okay, so we'll wait for the forum post then. Cool. I'm muted. That's not very helpful. I don't see anything else. If you guys have anything else to chime in, we can always toss it in at the end of the call. Going through our DAOs, it looks like the Uni V3, I think it's going to end in like an hour or something. It seems pretty unanimous that we're going to shut it off. So we'll talk about the next steps a little bit later in the call. In the Give Garden, we've got a bunch of stuff going on here. Token swap and LP with Node, with TEC. We've got the Giveth docs translation here as well from OneHive/Terraswarm. And the dual reward farm looks like it just passed, actually. So
just executed it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I see here. Somebody put in a comment because I could see that TJ Rush canceled the monitoring tool proposal.
Yeah, this is worthy of note that like when you put in an XDAI number, it's kind of weird. You know, you can make a proposal, but you should really just do it in Give tokens until the Oracle is sorted out.
Yeah. So when you make a proposal, there's like a little toggle that like converts it to the amount that it would be in XDAI, basically. So never use that until the Oracle's fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a good PSA. So TJ is going to put up another proposal soon that we can vote on?
Yeah. He's just going to replace it. I'm surprised he canceled it without putting it up right away.
Yeah, that's too bad. Okay. And in the DAO, I think there's just a home office allowance reimbursement that's going to Griff, I believe. And givebacks round 5 went out yesterday morning. Okay, so all this stuff is passed. We just need to execute it. General Magic Services, home office allowance for March. And then I'm sure we'll be seeing some stuff soon from Fischel for some other Giveth core team reimbursement and all that stuff. Okay, and there's nothing in the multi-sigs yet. Once we have the token swap stuff all done and ready, we'll be doing some fancy things with that, but nothing yet until the Gardens vote passes. Into the forum, HR upgrade, work agreements, and more. Maybe we'll just start with Marco. You had some questions about this?
Yeah, I was just trying finding unmute button. Hold on, I have it open here. Well, I read this forum post, but my first question is, do we have everything set up in order for this to work? There's a mention of the type forms. There's also a mention of these sub-DAOs and voting and other token stuff. There's also mention on what else? Well, anyway, like in general, do we have everything set up? Is this like the proposal that it will kind of go through, or do we want to iterate on this process a little bit more?
So I drafted this, throwing together a fairly reasonable spec, and really my intention was to get a lot of advice on this, because this is a lot of like maybe contentious issues, or there's various ways we can go about this. So nothing has been built yet, which is probably a prudent idea, and I'm just hoping to get feedback on the system itself.
Okay, thanks. Let me see if I have more questions.
Sure. Now, the big contentious issue here is disclosing salaries or not. And I've heard many different sides of the coin about whether or not we have people's salaries like on their work agreements, or how do we go about this. And my feeling, at least when I was writing the proposal, is like when we're looking at somebody's work agreement and like deciding if the work they're doing is adequate enough, like the salary kind of gives you a lot of context, and especially like further down the road, if we're going to be breaking it up into like how much they're asking from each working group, then like at some point we have to like figure this out so that people have full context. So we can hash this out now, or somebody can leave some comments, but like I'd love to get some.
Yeah, to me, as a buddy reviewer or something like that, I think that's useful. That's useful to know. So I think and also then the second thought was if this is going to be somewhere hosted on, as you mentioned, IPFS or whatever, and it's not going to be changed, and if everybody will have access to that, I mean, if everybody will have access to that, I'm not sure how, if that information is relevant to everybody. At least it's relevant for me as a buddy, as a reviewer, So, yeah, I mean, I don't have a straight answer here, but
I think it's on a need to know basis. I think it's important for the buddy to know, and I also think it's important for Rochelle or our accountants to know. But for the random guy on Twitter to know, definitely not. So I just don't I don't think it's nice to make it publicly accessible, right? There's levels of knowledge that, it's one thing for everyone's salary to be tweetable, and it's another thing for anyone's salary to be known by a Giveth community member who has to have thought about it. And finding out how to do that is the challenge.
If we had a transparent salaries, how we pay everybody at Giveth, on the organizational level, and if that is something that is transparent based on I think I said this before, based on the role maybe, and we tell the world that this is how we operate in Giveth, this is how much you get paid. And if that is transparent in first place, then it's no problem but then you already know what the salary of that person is, right? If he's a graphic designer or UI or ops or, whatever, you already know their salary, right? But in our case, that's not the case, right? We don't have that on the organizational level. We don't have that transparently, even defined, I think. So it doesn't make sense to then disclose the salaries of people if we don't have this, if we did not disclose the salaries based on our roles and how everybody is paid on organizational level.
I don't think that our salaries should necessarily be tweetable or publicly accessible, but I will definitely always advocate for transparency when it comes to salaries within the organization. I think that it's not good for our team to keep everything in a black box where nobody can know what else is going on. I think there's been a lot of research and studies done about this very thing within organizations, and it's been proven that transparency is better. I do agree that it shouldn't be like publicly tweetable.
Is there anybody that thinks that salaries shouldn't be accessible to anybody except for basically HR?
My default is actually I would prefer that it's HR and the buddy. That would be my preference, but it's a slight preference.
Now, if we found a way, the tricky thing is that basically in this way, like work agreements go to a DAO vote, and eventually, like in step 2, we'll have it that it just goes to like a working group sub DAO vote. So how do we deal with keeping that information transparent but also scoped?
Yeah, can I propose something? Like, since we're already there, like, and we want to make this transparent, why don't we, before we implement this new HR process and everything else, we actually define what the salaries are based on a role? I mean, is that possible? Can we make all salaries equal for everybody based on a role? If not, then okay, we're screwed, right? That's okay, that's fine. But if we can, and everybody accepts that, then we can be transparent with that.
I don't think it's as simple. I do think cost of living has something to do with the role payments. So,
but we define that as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is transparent, right? Like if I'm living like in New York and I have like maybe a higher salary, then okay, that's fine because I live in New York, right?
I think that's a flawed, the whole thing. It's like,
yeah.
So I was living in Canada and now I'm living in Costa Rica. It's like, should I all of a sudden start getting paid less? Like,
yeah, I know.
I
know. I've been there. I know.
Anyway, we're getting into touchy territory. I'm really hesitant to go further with this.
Okay.
It's way too nice in Costa Rica, man. You should earn less. Because you have nice weather and coconuts. Mango
budget. Yeah, sure.
Give
it
a
shame on you.
Mango tax. I'll put it in the forum.
Go ahead, Lauren.
I just think that, even just from this conversation, it's like the question of like salaries and how to make them fair when it's all ends up being kind of like objective and sort of qualitative, and we're trying to like quantify people's relative value, and then the comparison factor, like having everything totally transparent, I think just makes things a big mess. And I don't really know what the best solution is, but like I think having things like be too accessible. I mean, what's most important is if individuals are satisfied with their compensation and they feel like they're being properly valued. And I don't really know the exact best way to work that out, but like I think that like, I don't know, having everything super publicly available to everybody makes things kind of a mess. And you can see it even in this particular chat where it's already becoming kind of a mess.
I guess the hardest part would be to, when I'm expected to vote on somebody's role proposal, I wouldn't feel comfortable making an educated vote without knowing what the pay is.
I guess I feel the same way about like smart contract changes in a DAO, right? It's like, well, I don't really know if the smart contracts are safe, but I kind of trust this group who's there to oversee that the smart contract code is safe or that this upgrade will not cause these issues. And I feel like if we had the HR team effectively, that was a trusted group that you're like, okay, they're going to do the best they can to minimize costs while maximizing employment satisfaction, then like we could kind of trust them as the experts in that area.
Yeah, I second that. I think we're getting back to that initial proposal where like the HR and the buddies. I mean, those who that is concerned should, ask for that information when they need it.
So, but the thing is, like, when we put this to a DAO vote, like, you're saying that the salaries aren't there, and that only the buddies know, and
Yeah, and that's like with that proposal is the problem that it assumes that everything is transparent, right?
so then, yeah. And so the thing is here is like, how do we legitimize people's work agreements, like, within the DAO? Because right now it's like, it's super vague. And having legitimate work agreements, like, legitimate, I'm saying, is like everybody realizes that there's a work agreement, and that it's like, if there's some sort of process to be like, yes, this person is now a regular contributor. We need to define that to, like, be able to down the process, like, decentralized firing, This is like terminating work agreements. It's like, if we didn't even know the work agreement existed, like, how are we supposed to, like, proceed or, like, manage that? And the whole point is that, like, that we don't have this centralized HR system where basically, like, Griff does it,
With Rochelle and Heather and Ahmed.
What is? I mean, is it bad to have like this HR system? I mean,
it's not. You mean the current one?
Yeah, I mean, what's the problem with that? Having that in place in a DAO?
Personally, I think it relies on the benevolent dictator model, where the person who has the most knowledge and influence is making benevolent decisions. But I don't think it's something that we should rely on. There should be a better way. Like, if we're doing this all decentralized, then we have all these backroom chats that lead to, like, organization level decisions. It's like, it's not really a great system.
Well, in that case, I think we should have a pretty streamlined process of onboarding new members, hiring them, like almost automated process, and also providing them all information, and all information is transparent, including the salaries, based on the role, based on everything. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's if we wanna do that, then I think we should have everything set up in before, and then make it all transparent, so that, like, one person comes in and they're just guided through this whole system and through this whole process, and everybody's aware of that, and all works fine, and nobody's dependent on any other, because it's almost automated. So the question is, like, do we want to get there to that point? Is this where we're going? Like, if yes, then we should start working on that to achieve it, right?
Okay.
I see a lot of bits and pieces of that currently, like, coming together. In the community circle, we have an onboarding process. The hiring team has been helping out. We've got a form for new contributors to fill out. So we're defining some of these things. I would agree that they're not fully ready yet for implementation of the system, but I feel like we're already headed in that direction. And this helps for, as we implement Gravity and conflict resolution, that can be a team that is involved in this process. Because as you get to the hiring part, we've kind of got defined, but, like, the firing part happens behind the scenes a lot right now. And, like, maybe it'd be best to decentralize that and have everybody more involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I can say the same for the design team. Sorry, just one note on that. When it comes, like, the design working group is also working on their documentations, how we operate, how we work, like, what is the onboarding, the offboarding process specific to the design, right? Because they're, like, files and stuff like that. And assuming that is after they have been hired, right? and offboarding, assuming after someone like terminated their account or whatever. Now each working group could potentially work on all these, bits and pieces that are missing right now to make this whole thing complete, and so that like we can eventually decentralize, even the hiring and the whole HR thing, right? And so like if Ashley, you say you're working closer to that, we're working closer to that. Maybe we'll get to a point where individual working groups will already have these automated processes, and now we just have to raise it up a level, right? To the higher HR.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like basically you're just skipping to step 2, where you're basically becoming like a sub DAO. You have your own processes. You can do your own onboarding and offboarding, which would make a lot of this a lot easier, honestly. But like it would take a lot of time, and people, like all the existing working groups, would have to do a lot of adjusting so that we have something standardized between each working group that makes sense. And this is actually very similar to what Shapeshift already does, which I borrowed a lot of ideas from them.
And how do they solve this? Do they have this issue with disclosing salaries and maybe like different rates or salaries on different working groups?
We didn't get around to salaries, but that's a great question. I might
because if we end up like having these sub DAOs, design, dev, whatever, then if someone comes in, goes through the door of the design, we should have some document that says this is what you expect from, like, this is the work that you will be doing based on the role. This is the expected salary that you will have, and all these kind of already available information somewhere, so that we don't arrange that on the individual level, right? And so the same should be for other working groups, and also that all that should be kind of in sync with the budgeting overall with Giveth. So we know that like this is the budget that we will get from Giveth for design, and this is how much we can afford, and this is how we actually get rewarded, and all this has to be written somewhere. And for that person, when they come in, when they read that document and say, okay, this is good for me, or no, this is not good for me, I'm going to work somewhere else,
Cool. I want to leave like maybe 1 or 2 more minutes for comments on this, and then hopefully we can digest this and get some more feedback on the forum.
I just want to throw out there, and like kind of in tandem with what you were saying, is I think that the community circle can also help working groups with this process, along with the hiring team, the onboarding, so we can kind of be the first base that they go to, and we collect this information, kind of like we have an account where we're compiling profiles for all users within community. We're using Orbit, so we can like have all this stuff in a central location where working group stewards can locate the information about them. We can get them, the accounts and the correct tools and the platforms that they need to be on, and then like usher them to the working group stewards. So we can be like that first space, get them like seasoned, get them with the information that they need, help them figure out which working group they want to be a part of, and then, and then they can go and get more involved in that working group.
Okay. Cool. Sure. Let's collect all this in the forum. I'll try and make some thoughtful comments, but I would love if anyone has any further ideas or just wants to like digest it somewhere more concrete. I would love some more feedback on this forum post because it's a lot. Moving on from that, I just want to bring attention back to retroactive givebacks. I saw Lauren volunteer to help with the review process. I'm just making another call there before we get this ball rolling. If you would like to help, or if you're available to help review retroactive givebacks, please leave a comment in the forum. Cool. Any questions about that? Nice. Okay, hot topic. Uni V3 farm is being gamed. So it looks like we mentioned this is going to pass. We'll be shutting down UniV3 rewards on March 21st. Take a snapshot of current stakers and unclaimed rewards. There's going to be some comms letting people know about it. And basically, we need to decide what our next step is after we've turned off these rewards.
Yeah, so
Does it matter how it's being gamed?
Yeah, it's in the forum post actually. So if you want to just take a moment and read up on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, so there's some people in the forum who are, I mean, the snapshot vote was seemingly unanimous. Like everybody voted yes. We didn't really have any no votes, but then there's some no people in the forum who are saying like that they think it's going to like really hurt the liquidity and we should gradually reduce the rewards and et cetera. So I mean, this is something we were discussing before, like potentially shutting off the rewards and then restarting them with like lower incentives, because like the problem is kind of like that we had just like overly inflated rewards and a lot of them going to just like one huge whale providing liquidity. So, I mean, we could shut it off and then like restart it again with lower incentives. But then we also were talking in the Treasury Management Working Group about having download liquidity using our 5 ETH from Optimism and creating a stable give pool somewhere. And then like we're doing all these token swaps, and there's like the potential, like we could also offer like give rewards to expert liquidity providers to create pools on UniV3 and provide liquidity that way. And I feel like there's just like a lot of ideas floating around. And then the conversation in the forum is just like, I mean, a little bit like frustrating to me because there's like a lot of like disagreement. So anyway, these are just some of the ideas and potentials. And I don't know if this is the right place to fully discuss it or if we need like a separate call because it might be like a long issue, but yeah, should we shut them off and restart them lower? Or we were talking about not doing that at all, but really the conversation of like what to do now is.
I think the token holders have spoken, and despite what's in the forum, if there's a unanimous no on Snapshot, then we should carry out what we said, at least what we said we're going to do there. So shut off rewards March 21st.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. And I can share on the Twitter that like people need to claim the rewards.
Should we start a new thread about like what to do now?
Yeah, I think we should start a new forum post for sure.
Okay, cool. Because I'm really interested by lots of these different ideas, and you know the stuff we were talking about with the Angel Vault and like using that to like create our liquidity on Uniswap.
Yeah, I love that idea. I'll work with Grace today to finish that forum post on the Angel Vault, and then I can start the new thread about this, like the continuation of like what to do with some of these ideas that we're kicking around.
Okay, great. I'm just wondering if anyone else has any comments on this issue.
I'll leave it in the forum.
Okay, great.
Did we talk about how what we should do till that time? I have some discussion about how we deal with that guy, because
I don't think the discussion anymore is like how to deal with that guy. I think
no, I mean till that time. Not I agree that we should close it. You know, I mean that after we close the Uniswap, he will definitely have a huge amount of give to sell, and he will dump the price, right? You know, and I mean that we should do in advance something. You know, I think it would be better we get all of his ETH from him. You know, because the price, you know, the specific range that the current price range is so dense, and there are lots of liquidity there. So if we sell lots of gift to him before the close, we can get much of his ETH in our hand, and when he dumped the price, we can buy him. You know, buy his gifts cheaper but we have enough liquidity to not allowing him to dump the price too much. Otherwise, we should spend, I don't know, maybe 50 ETH for getting back to current price. I like to talk with that specifically with Giveth before, but I couldn't. And it's good time. I don't know. How do you think? If we sell him too much ETH and get him his ETH at this moment.
Sounds like a fun idea. I think we could talk about that. What do you guys? Is anyone interested in playing games with this guy? And
It sounds like something that you and Kirch would have a lot of fun with.
yeah.
I think as long as we're not like manipulating the system, but using the system to like kind of like wage war on equal footing, I guess. Liquidity battles.
And then the other question is if we later on we actually remove his stream.
Yeah, that's a good point because his stream is so big. That day I said that he has 2 million and second distro. 2 million. Yeah. And that's huge. You know, I don't have enough liquidity to do that. I need Giveth help. And I tried. I had profit of 1 or 2 or 3 ETH by playing with him, but finally his liquidity is more than me. I couldn't.
Go ahead, Lauren. You had something to say.
Just like I really think like trying to play games and like fight with this person is like, I don't think it's going to be great for us. I think it's just going to be like challenging and lead to us kind of like either hurting the economy or just like, I don't know, just like having Giveth have even more way too much give, you know, and I don't know. Like, I just don't think that we should like play games with him. I think it's just like an awkward, sticky situation. I think maybe stopping his stream is maybe a good idea. Like the best thing would be if some way we could have actually a conversation with this person who's doing this, and like maybe this would be like a good candidate for someone who actually like wants to provide liquidity, and we send them like a bunch of give and come up with some sort of agreements in terms of like what they're going to do. But you know how we were talking about like, oh, we shut up the UniV3 rewards and we could have like expert liquidity providers actually do this, and then we incentivize them by like sending them give. Like, I don't know, this could be something we could do, but I just think like the endless battle is like not good for us. And I mean, it's like just like a waste of time, and I don't know. It's not fun. It's like bad vibes. It's just bad vibes. Can we do something better? Can we spend our energy on something better than like fighting this whale, and maybe just come up with a situation where they're not like, you know, we're not vulnerable to them?
Yeah, well, I think shutting off the rewards and finding a better system will be good for us. And well, I mean, we've said before, like, we don't really know how to start a dialogue with them. We don't know who they are. It's like just like a bot with an Uniswap position made just to game us. Now, like, if you did go that route and like you wanted to play battles, like, what would be the end result? You know, would it be something that even after Uniswap rewards end, that we would have to continue to manage? And like, what are the ethical or like moral implications of like targeting somebody who is like basically gaming the system that we invited everyone to play? Like, the rules were clear. We opened the farm, we created a reward stream, and then this person figured out how to maximize it, and then all of a sudden we just like penalized them.
I think the problem was that the rules weren't clear, and we thought we actually misunderstood what the rules were and had bad information, deployed it, and one person had information asymmetry and took advantage of it. I have to agree with Lauren on this one, on the like moral implications of trying to play games with this guy more than like as in dumping our give tokens to him and then taking the ETH and then having him like technically he would lose money because the liquidity of Give is obviously less than ETH. So like then he dumped the Give price, but then the Give price would just tank. Well, and then we use the ETH to buy it back up, I guess. I don't know. It feels like doesn't feel like it's on brand. So like if we were like Sushi Swap or something, sure, that could be fun. But we're Giveth, so like playing these kinds of games is not good PR for our community. I think we're better off just seeing what happens and ending this program and not trying to fight on a playing field that this guy might even have the advantage anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't tell that for the long-term solution. I didn't till the closing because I thought that, as I said, he will sell lots of GIF after the closing. He will, or maybe sell 500,000 GIF. Who knows? or and that will impact the price drastically. Maybe I just tell that for till that time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can individually, you and anyone who's volunteer, we can play with him. I profited a little, but I couldn't move the price. I didn't have enough. I moved most of my give to the mainnet, but
okay.
Wasn't
so
enough.
I get it. And so I hear that. So basically, do we target this person? Do we manipulate their token distro, or do we just leave it and see what happens?
I think for now we leave it and see what happens, and changing his token distro is something we should definitely consider, but probably after we shut down the rewards.
Okay, but like we're kind of like kicking the can down the road. Like, do we do something about the token distro or not?
I just don't think. I think we need a forum post. I don't think we can discuss it in this call.
Okay, cool. All right. Should we throw that in the one that you're making, Lauren? Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's two discussions. There's the guy, and then there's what do we do for liquidity? And
Yeah.
if we conflate the two forum posts, it'll just be we won't get anywhere on the real problem, which is like, hey, what's the next step for more liquidity on mainnet?
Okay, I think, I agree. 2 forum posts. There should be one with what to do after. The other one, which I'll kind of like leave this. I guess I'll just work with you, Griff, a little bit and ask kind of like more what to put in that forum post, because I know it's like the question of maybe we stop his stream and then like maybe we fight him in some other way. I don't really know what details to add in the forum post, but I'll make 3 forum posts today. Angel Vault, UniV3 stopping, and what to do about the guy.
Okay. If you want any help with those forum posts, Lauren.
Yeah, well, one of them is Grace has basically already done it, and so the other one I just need to talk to Grace.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right, I want to... Okay, cool. Are there any more comments? We'll leave like another minute or 2 for this. We'll wait for the forum posts. Cool. Okay, cool. Last thing I have on the agenda, this is just a reminder, we've got the Taoist Mexico City. We're just waiting for a forum post with all the expenses there. I think for Shell, Lauren, Algene, I'm not sure who's...
Yeah, so if you guys haven't sent it already in the chat about your flights, I think maybe it's all in there. And so like Algene should have finished the spreadsheet. I'll follow up with Rochelle and Algene and see.
Okay, and then we'll expect a forum post, advice, and then gardens, and then all that fun stuff. Or NR give.
Oh, the forum post is actually already there. Mateo had made it. We just need to kind of put the final numbers.
Yeah, we just got to put the numbers in there, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Great. And okay, we're at the end. I'm wondering if there's anything else anyone wanted to talk about before the top of the hour. Any forum posts? Nothing. Is Giant Kin, are you
Rock
still
the
here?
vote. I would just say rock the vote. We need more. There's a lot of good votes out there.
Oh. Giant Kin left before we figured out the moderation proposal. But maybe since you're here, all he has to do, or all that Heather needs to do, is just create a payment request via the NR Give DAO. That would be the easiest way than using the gardens. And the agreement was to pay and give. Okay. All right, cool. Anything else, anyone, before we close this governance call? Oh, tough crowd today. Jeez. Okay.
I would just say rock the vote. Check the forum. There's so much action in the forum. I mean, it's insane. And yeah. But rock the vote. That like there, and flocking in conviction voting is a thing. So like, I don't know if you want to just like, if we want to try to see which ones we can pass faster based off of where you put your give tokens. It's an interesting game.
Also,
Cool.
big up to Amin, who is a real badass economy whitehead. Nice.
Thank you. I have some. I do that for my money, for my profit. I earn some ETH by doing that.
Okay.
I'm so certain that why I get it for later, pushing the price up.
I did not know this side of you, and I like. It's just I'm saying, like I'm proud, and I like it.
Thank you.
All right, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll give you your 6 minutes back. We've got the dev call at the top of the hour. Thanks, everyone, for joining the governance call, and we'll do this again next week.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.